7 says, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." Holla, 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 holla at me. What? Holla at me. What? Holla at me. Yes, holla at your girl. It's your girl, Holiday Season. I'm back with another story time. Make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And click the post notification bell so that you are notified every single time that I post, y'all. So this story time is going to be about Rosie and... what did I name him? DC, y'all. So yes. So this is gonna be like a sequel to another story. So the story that it's a sequel to is remember the boy stole the stuff out my purse while I was asleep? I think I like my glasses on, but I feel like I don't like the glare. So yeah, so this is gonna be like a sequel to that story, right? So one day we was all hanging out, right? And this was not okay. It's gonna come into how it's a sequel to Do With The Boy, right? And it made me think because the other day he followed me on Facebook, but then I had to block him because it was just like, did you not forget that you stole my $10? And barely, you actually stole 20, then didn't want to get a 10. Anyway, yeah. So one day we just all chilling. And DC hit me up like, "What you doing today?" And I was just telling him like I wasn't doing anything, like he come pick me up or whatever, right? He was like, "Okay, I'm gonna be over there in like 30 minutes after I finish doing this or whatever," right? I was like, "Okay, cool." So we end up hanging out. We go to his house and we just sitting there chilling, and we just like just regular stuff. Like, y'all, when I tell y'all it used to be a lot of nothing that we used to be doing, it was a lot of nothing. Okay, it was nothing was really happening for real. Like, so yeah. And so even at one time I had got so bored, I was like, let's go do like some DoorDash or something. And he was like, okay, cool, long as we drive your car. Because like his car, I understood he had like a car that took a lot of gas. So I was like, okay, we could drive my car or whatever, right? And so one thing about doing that job, I used to like to reminisce a lot. Like, so being in certain areas used to make me like reminisce or like make me think of something or like, but at this time we had been hanging out for a couple hours now. So now it hadn't got dark. So I was like, oh, I want to go pick up Rosie. I'm going to go pick up Rosie. So I hit up Rosie. Rosie like, yeah, come pick me up. So he was like, you know what? We could just drive my car. Let's just drive my car because I got to go somewhere too. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we end up going to this place that reminded me of the boy. So I was like, I end up telling them the rundown. Well, Rosie already knew, but I don't think he already knew. I don't think DC already knew. So I was like, I started telling them the rundown about like how he stole the $20 from my purse and everything that happened. Like I started oversharing, like fuck, like telling him the rundown of what happened. He was like, "Oh yeah, he did all that." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, and he stayed right over here in this area too. And like I would just go in and in and in and in and in and on and on and on and on. Like I would tell every single thing, like down to the T. Like I swear it didn't matter who it was. I was gonna tell Rosie or DC. Most of the time it was gonna be Rosie, right? So Rosie just sitting in the back and she like listening to it or whatever. She just used to be along for the ride or whatever, right? And one thing about it, let me say this again because I don't feel like I said this enough. People were my friends for a reason. Like they weren't always like this. Like the whole time we were friends. Like it was just like stuff happens and you have to move on from people. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it took a while to understand that, but I understand it and hope y'all get it too. But yeah, so he was just like, you know what, you remember where he stay at? I was like, yeah, I remember where he stay. I was like, why? He was like, we gonna pull up over there. So I'm like, but keep in mind, I already kind of knew, like I already said, before he even asked me this, he already knew too where he stayed because I was telling him. So I don't even know why he even asked. So I'm like, I do remember it, but I was like, what you want? Because, like, you really used to have to ask DC, like, what you want? Like, you know, because it's seeming a little fishy. You know, like I really shouldn't even been talking about it. I should have waited till, like, we went home. So I was like, what you going to be on? Because I was like, I don't want you to try anything that's going to get us in trouble or get you in trouble, get us hurt, anything. I was like, because it's really not worth it. This was years ago. I just want to tell what happened. Like, you know, like, and sometimes I used to think, like, what if this person knew this person? Like, what if DC really knew him and he tell me some junk? Like, I don't know, you know, like, just gossip. That's all it was, right? He was like, nah, I just wanna see, like, scope the scenery. You know, this my side.
I'ma scope the scenery out.
This my side of town or whatever. I could be over here, you know, this or this. He was like, he just kept like asking me a bunch of questions. He was like, so you was just asleep and he took the money? He was like, that's just weird. And he texts you saying like, oh yeah, you was feeling good and all this. He was like, he knew what he was doing. He don't do no mess like that. He was like, that ain't even cool. Like, that ain't what up. And I was like, I remember later on, I end up seeing him. Oh wait, let me back up. I want to tell this part too. So maybe like a year after he had stole out my purse or whatever, me, my mama, and all my cousins, they had got like a, don't ask me why they had got an Airbnb over there, but it ended up being real cool. But they had ended up getting a like Airbnb on the side of town where the boy was from. At this time, I really didn't know, because like me, I could remember a certain side of town, but it gotta be like a specific certain side. So it just can't be like a whole east side. Oh, I know we on the east. Like, it's not like gonna click like that. So we was going inside of the gas station. You know, they was gonna get liquor, drinks, and all of that. So I was just like sitting there. So I end up like seeing somebody going in the store, and they look familiar. I was like, dang, they look familiar. You know, like that person looked familiar or whatever. And so as he got closer and I was going out the door, I'm like, oh, that's such and such. That's him. That's the boy. And he was like looking so like spooked. Like, I don't know what it was. So we got in the car. I had only told my mama about this situation. So I had told my mama, I was like, you know who that is? I was like, remember the boy who took the money out of my purse and I called you and I was crying about it, whatever? She was like, yeah. I was like, that's him. She was like, no wonder he kept looking at me like really weird or whatever. Like, he was just looking like, you know, like he was spooked. I was like, yeah, that's him. She was like, yeah, she just kept saying like he was just looking weird or whatever. And so I was just like, you know, that was kind of crazy that I ran into him like almost like a year and a half later, right? So now, fast forward to in the car. So I was like telling them like the last time I saw him was in the gas station with my people. So DC like, word,
He would
like,
be like, y'all ain't pressed that nigga?
Gas
Y'all ain't
station.
do
What
no
he
drill?
say?
Like,
Did he
what?
say anything to you? I was like, no, he didn't say anything at all. Like, nothing. Like, he was just looking. And I was just telling him like he may have felt guilty of some sort. Because like, yeah, I kind of felt like maybe he had felt guilty or whatever. So he was just like, yeah. So anyway, we start getting closer to the side of the town that he was on. He was like, you like remember the road or whatever? I was like, please don't do nothing crazy. Like, I really shouldn't be telling you this or whatever. But I was like, don't do nothing crazy or like don't do nothing weird. So we end up like going by the house. I was like, that's the house right there that he stay at, but I don't know if like he's there or anything. Now keep in mind, I don't know why we was doing this, because I wasn't even gonna let him do nothing to that boy on my time, or I wasn't even gonna. It was just like, I don't know why, but it just kind of felt like, I kind of felt like I was just wanting to share what happened. You ever feel like you just want to share something, like just talk about it? So that's what I was doing. And so I was like, yeah, that's the house right there. He was like, it'd be wrong if I just start shooting some shots through there or what. So I'm gonna edit that part out. So I was like, yeah, that would be dead wrong and don't do that, right? So soon as we like hit a curb, I'm guessing like this place must be like a studio or a nightclub or something. But we was coming, so the type of car that DC has, it's kind of like, it's like a police magnet car. Like, people get pulled over a lot in it. Like, I think people think it's like a dope car. Like, the police probably think like it's automatically suspicious, you know? So we pulling up on the corner, and DC did the weirdest shit. Like, I don't know why he did this till this day. I don't know why he did this. So he pull up real slow on the curb. So say like how he pulling up, it's a curb right here. So we pulling up right here on this side. It's like a, you know how downtown businesses are. it's kind of like a guy was coming out of the building, right? So he ended up turning, but he like driving real slow. Like he had to be going like 10 miles per hour. And I feel like for people too, this car kind of make people think the wrong thing as well. Like, oh dang, they finna do a drive-by. And plus, who goes 10 miles per hour at like 12 to 1 o'clock in the morning? Like, who does that? So you could tell the man probably thought like it was a drive-by finna happen. So the man goes and reach for his piece. So DC let the window down like, oh.
What you reaching for? What you reaching for?
Like, we good. We ain't on that, right? He said that, and I'm just like, I'm looking crazy. Like, this man really done upped it. And then he was like, he looked, and then he just let his shirt back down. He went back in. He like went to his car or whatever he was after that. I was so irritated because I'm like, what if he just shot up in here? Like, you don't know. Like, you just riding around. He was like, this my side of town. This my side of town. I got it. And in that moment, I just felt bad because I'm like, I shouldn't even been over here. You know, like, and that was just irritating. So, anyway, fast forward, a couple days go by. It's my birthday. And I don't want to say that? We gonna say, okay, my sister ended up throwing me like something, or we just end up doing something over at our apartment for me that day, right? And so my sister was with her, at the time, this was her boyfriend or whatever. So basically, I don't know, like her boyfriend at the time was just like being very lit. Like he was just like being, I don't know, like he just was just doing too much. And so, even at one point in time, he was trying to like, I think he was just, it was either he was trying to make me take shots or he was trying to feed me cake or something.
He was trying to put cake in my face.
He did something, and it was just like, I wasn't really on that type of timing with him because it was just kind of like annoying or whatever, right? And, he kept saying like slick stuff too. It really wasn't slick. I didn't think it was slick back then, but now looking at it, it's kind of like, you know how people can say something, but it to someone else, it could have like an underlying meaning to it. And it was like kind of like demeaning to him, I guess. Like, it was just kind of crazy, but we hadn't got a couple drinks. We having fun. And like my sister boyfriend at the time, like he having fun too. Like he enjoying himself like you supposed to at a little get together or whatever, right? Hold on, y'all. Wait, I don't think it was my birthday.
It wasn't
my birthday.
I'm sorry.
Scratch birthday. It wasn't my birthday. I'm sorry. It was just a normal night, but I did do the same thing on my birthday, whatever. But this wasn't my birthday. So basically he was just like, we was all just sitting at the table, and one thing about it, DC would get kind of lit too. Like he would drink, but he definitely had like a limit too. But he wasn't getting too lit this night. But I'm just saying, so that y'all can know later on when I tell other stories, he used to get very lit too. You know, like, to be honest, I kind of felt like my sister boyfriend at that time and DC's personality just clashed. Like, DC was a very serious person and he was like a very playful person, and DC just didn't like that. And like he was saying like a lot of stuff that like was trying to be funny. I don't remember verbatim what he was saying, but just picture like a person trying to be like, just picture Ice Cube with Kevin Hart. That's what it was giving. Like, DC was Ice Cube and my sister boyfriend was Kevin Hart. Like, trying to play too much. So, it was one thing that he did and it just pissed DC off. And DC off like, hey bro, don't trust my gun no more. Like, don't do this, don't do that. Like, he started like going off crazy. Like, he went ballistic. Even I was kind of shocked. So Rosie was like looking like, is this okay? Like, he doing too much. Like, he really shouldn't do that. Like, why he being mean to him? So everybody looking at DC like, you crazy. So even my sister was just like, you ain't even gotta act like that. Why are you even doing that? Like, he just being nice to you. He just doing this. He just being, he don't, like, oh yeah, and we went bowling that night. So my sister's like, my man paid for y'all bowling and everything, and you acting like this. And we ain't asked them to pay for our bowling, but we was happy that they did, because DC didn't have it like that. Anyway, so I was kind of like, dang, he treating him like that. And so later on, DC was like, I don't give a fuck what the nigga pay for. Like, he ain't finna be playing with me, and he ain't finna be playing with you in your face, which I get that, because he taking up for his girl at that time. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But, because he was playing a little bit too much. He just was. He kind of was, right? So, anyway, that night kind of ended a little early because DC had a few drinks. Just a few, but he wasn't drunk like he couldn't drive. Like, only a few, though. So, and then plus we had to take Rosie back home. But other than that, we would have stayed there at the house probably. But we had to take her back or whatever. So, anyway, we head up the road. And I'm just telling him, I'm like, you need to, like, control your anger. Like, that's kind of embarrassing. Like, we all just chilling. He was like, nah, like, buddy, keep playing. Ain't nobody playing. I ain't here to play. Like, why you keep playing? Like, you a grown-ass man. You sitting there playing games and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, he was just going in. Y'all know DC used to be in the NFL. So basically, like, I'm just telling you, like, how serious, so y'all could get, like, who he was. Like, he was very serious, very, like, he didn't play. Like, it was no time to play. Like, yeah. So anyway, we get to this one light, and the light is just red forever. Like, I swear, like, we sat at that light for every bit of 7 to 10 minutes. I swear, like, on me, I swear. And this cop had to be very petty. Like, I swear, this cop was very petty, but he was nice at the same time. Because I feel like you watched us sit at that light, and you seen that it didn't change for about a good 10 minutes. So DC was like, I'm just finna go. But we didn't see no cop. So DC was like, when he passed the light, all of a sudden, you hear like, and you see the lights. I said, oh Lord, like, here we go. He gets pulled over. We pulled over. I'm like, dang. I always used to think, like, dang, if we wasn't taking Rosie home, this wouldn't happen. Like, because we would have just stayed at the house. I was like, we got to start doing this. Like, it'd be too late or whatever, right? And he was just like, he didn't say nothing. He never used to think like that. He just used to be like, fuck it, you know? So the guy we get pulled over. And the guy was like, yeah, you passed that light back there. He was like, yeah, we had sat there for like 10 minutes and it never changed. He was like, yeah, license, registration, proof of insurance, all that, right? He ended up taking that out, right? He went to go run his stuff, which DC had a record between the baby mamas, and he had a record. So the man came back. He was like, sir, step out the car. Really, I knew he ended up saying something to him. He was like, you know that you have this, and I'm sorry for slouching y'all, but I just got from the gym. I'm tired. He was like, you know, you got this and this and that going on, right? He was like, just step out the car. I don't want to talk about your information in front of the ladies, right? I feel like if he was by himself, he would have went to jail. But since the guy knew that, like, we was together and stuff, I think he ended up giving him, like, a pat on the shoulder. So I think he was outside the car, like, telling him, like, hey, you need to go get this handled. You need to go do this. You need to go do this. Like, what's going on? Why haven't you handled this or whatever? Blah, 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 blah. So the guy ended up giving him a pat on the shoulder. And he was just like, see, I don't be liking that. I was like, see, I really want to stay home. And I really feel bad because we could have stayed at my mama's house. Not my mama's house, but we could have stayed at my apartment or whatever, right? But we had to take Rosie home. They used to be kind of annoying, too, now I think about it. It was just, whatever. So we ended up taking her home. We ended up going back to his apartment, right? And so I'm just thinking, like, the course of the night, like, what done happened, all this. Like, it was just crazy. I'm finna introduce somebody else. So this a couple days later, right? And, like, during this time, I was just like, I want to, like, hang out or whatever, right? So we gonna name her Jazz. So basically, Jazz was pretty good. Like, she was a friend that I met during school when I went to UAB or whatever. So I met her at UAB, and, like, we always just hit it off like that. But I kind of felt like she wasn't, like, a close friend, but I feel like we were still kind of close a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Like, we weren't really close, but we was close. Because I kind of feel like she would kind of put her other friends before me. So, but that's understandable because you don't see me every day, so I get it. So, we end up having to go pick Rosie up from work because Rosie's at work, right? Remember? So basically, we get there and it's this dude, not the dude that, you know, she started talking to and was trying to be funny, but it was another dude in there, and we would always flirt together, right? Stay with me, y'all. It was another dude. So the other dude, I think we end up naming him like Chase or Choice or something. This is a whole new dude. We just gonna name him Dude because it's already too many names, right? So me and Jazz walk in, and instantly we see Rosie walking with us or whatever, right? So we end up seeing New Dude in the distance, and so Jazz is with us too. So it's me, Jazz, Rosie now walking up to New Dude and a bunch of people that he worked with. So as we walking up, I'm like, hey. So Jazz like, you don't know him. You know him? She was like, yeah, I do. And so Rosie was like, yeah, she do know him. She do know him, whatever, right? But I ain't really used to like New Dude like that. I ain't like him like that, but we used to always flirt. It was just definitely something to do, right? So why the world did she was like, oh, so Jazz was like, oh, you know New Dude? So I was like, yeah, I know him, you know. And Rosie giving her the okay, like, yeah, they do know each other, blah 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 blah. So we get up to him, he give me a hug or whatever, blah blah blah. And so he was like, who this? And so I'm like, this my friend Jazz. And so yeah, I think his homeboy ended up liking Jazz. So he was, but I think New Dude ended up liking Jazz as well too, but he kind of wasn't saying nothing a little bit. It was kind of like, anyway, so the other boy, New Dude friend, is like, yeah, after we walk off, he like, yeah, put me on. Somehow it got back to us that he wanted Jazz. New Dude's friends wanted Jazz, right? I think New Dude was trying to put them on at first. I think that's what happened. Yeah. So Rosie, out of nowhere, ends up saying, no, he got a girlfriend. He this, he that. Like, no, you can't talk to him. Which y'all would probably say, okay, yeah, that's good that she's saying that and she doing that, right? But I kind of feel like it was not the time and the place. I kind of feel like if that boy went out his way to try to talk to her, I kind of feel like it probably wasn't going to go anywhere. I just feel like, shut the fuck up, Rosie. You didn't have to say anything. I kind of feel like, this is why I would look at it too. I'm your friend. But you ain't want to tell me little stuff about Chase. But all of a sudden now you know who got a boyfriend, who this, who that, da da da. I don't know. It was just weird. All of a sudden now you want to tell Jazz all this stuff. Just hush. Like it just used to be the double shit for me, the double standards for me. I don't know. It's just weird. It was just weird, right? So I was just like looking around, just like not saying nothing. And so I think New Dude ended up trying to say, like, I don't know how he got to trying to talk to Jazz, but he ended up talking to Jazz, right? And that became a thing because that boy was mad at Rosie for telling Jazz that he had somebody. He was like, yeah, you talk too much and doing all of this, blah 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 blah. And she was like, but I'm not wrong for just telling him that he got a girlfriend. Like, I don't feel like I'm wrong for that. Like, if you got a girlfriend, you got a girlfriend, this and blah, 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 blah. Whole time, Rosie would talk to people all the time, and she had people. So, it was just kind of like... But I could see where Rosie was just saying she's just trying to put her on, you know? And I do get it. Girls, I guess. But, bitch, be a girls for me. Your best friend. So, y'all, so her and New Dude start talking. I know, y'all. I said we used to flirt. But at this point, I ain't count that against her. Because, and I know somebody gonna say, how you gonna get mad at Rosie when she tried to talk to Choice and this and blah, blah, blah. It wasn't that. She knew it's a difference. Rosie knew that I like Choice or Chase or whoever I call him. She knew that deep down. Jazz just came into what we had going on. She never knew nothing about me flirting with him. She never knew. So I felt like Rosie tried to make that a thing, like, dang, why you ain't say nothing? Like, that was your dude. Like, why you ain't say nothing? You ain't say nothing. But I kind of felt like I ain't have to say nothing because that wasn't my dude. If you get what I'm trying, if y'all get what I'm trying to say, like, new dude wasn't even my dude. We flirt and that was it. Like, I ain't want him. But y'all, that opened a can of worms. When I tell you open a can of worms, baby, Rosie did not understand why I was so mad at her about Chase, but not mad at Jazz for liking new dude. Cause it come a time where me, Jazz, and new dude be hanging out, and it was kind of weird, but it is what it is. But that's it for this story time. Thank y'all for like, comment, share, and clicking the post notification bell so that you are notified every single time that I post. Peace out. Good night, y'all. I'm gonna go take a bath. I'm hot, sweaty, and tired, and I gotta get up in the morning. So good night.
Thomas, they cover my flaws. I ain't had to brand new type shit. Hell around joint with the brush, I look like a new type shit.